So I'm not saying he is 100% going to be a success. He has to get a quarterback. What we saw this year
First thing I asked you
is
during the break.
evidence of even the greatest coach on the planet in the history of the sport is not immune to a brutal quarterback situation. Even he will lose his job because he hasn't been able to figure it out at that position. So if Mayo doesn't find a quarterback, he's going to be gone.
So do you think, sticking with quarterback, do you think he practicing against the excuse me, I can't talk. He practicing against the offense every day, seeing the worst of the plays, seeing the best of the plays, meaning Zappy, Jones,
sure,
whoever the other 18 people are they brought in and out. Do you think he entertains the thought of bringing any of those guys back?
Not as the starter. They're going to have to do something different this offseason, and I think he understands that. So it would really surprise me if they roll with anything that they have right now and trust him with the keys to the offense. That, to me, is not an option. So, again, the quarterback matters, and maybe that makes the general manager hire even more important. And there are some really intriguing names out there. You know, there are guys that we know that have been here who know Jerod Mayo, like Dave Ziggler. Dave Ziggler obviously is available, just fired by the Las Vegas Raiders. He's still getting paid by the Vegas Raiders. So whether he's here in a general manager capacity, does he want to be here as an assistant GM or director of player personnel as he just kind of gets back into the league and gets back into the swing of things? That, to me, would make sense as a hire. There are outside perspectives, both who have some Patriots background and who do not. You know, Trey Brown is a really interesting name. It's a guy that I know has a relationship with Jerod Mayo. I know Mayo would have a lot of respect for. He is an executive with the Cincinnati Bengals right now. It's a very small personnel staff. Those Bengals guys have to do a lot because they don't spend a lot on their personnel staff there in Cincy. And so they all have a lot of different responsibilities, Brown included. Younger guy, I believe he's 37, 38 years old. Very well respected. Has a variety of different jobs there in Cincinnati that might work. He was a scout here in New England for a handful of years. Mike Borgonzi is, I think, maybe the most interesting external candidate.
Local guy, good guy.
He is a local guy. Everett's own. Fullback at Brown, right? So he's got plenty of local ties.
Neck roll guy.
The football local tie would be that he worked under Scott Pioli in Kansas City. So he never worked here. He never worked under Belichick, but he did work under Pioli in Kansas City. Again, somebody who would understand the grading scale, but would provide a fresher perspective when it comes to player evaluation and maybe loosening up some of the, I would say, constraints that the grading scale here in New England provides when you're attacking the draft or you're attacking free agency. So that's a team, the Chiefs. And we know their offensive talent isn't amazing around Patrick Mahomes right now, but it's a good offensive line. He was there when they drafted Patrick Mahomes. And their defense has been...
two kids from Everett coming in. Dave Borgonzi, he's the linebacker coach. And next week, Mike Borgonzi.
That's right. That guy's all over his Borgonzis. Was that a Borgonzi?
I'm pretty sure he was a Borgonzi.
It might have been.
Yeah.
But that's a team that's built through the draft. It's built through free agency. They've done some different things. Obviously, they have a great quarterback.
That call was from 2018.
Wow.
We've been hearing that guy's name around here since 2018
Wow.
on this show.
Wow.
They call us all the time. Well, yeah, you got to go get a Borgonzi.
But never been a general manager, and I think, would be very open to the possibility of working with Jerod Mayo. So there's a lot of interesting candidates. They're not going to be limited just because they already have a head coach.
But are they willing to do that? Are they willing to bring someone in that they don't know, that is not one of their people? And that's something that I think they suffered from the same way Bill suffered from it. And it's too bad because it sort of limits your scope of the people you can come across and the people that might be really good for you.
Yeah. I think it's a genuine concern on your part, because what I've been told, people who know the crafts, they believe that they're going to want to have somebody who has a relationship with them already.
And I like the idea of having institutional knowledge from the last 20 plus years because you've been that good, but it's not the only way to do things. And it certainly in the last 4 years hasn't been the way to do things.
In recent history, especially in the draft. I mean, it's been 10 years since they hit on a first-round pick. Not including Christian Gonzalez, who looks like a hit, but he's played 4 games, right? It's been 10 years since they drafted somebody who they then later gave a second contract to in the first 3 rounds. It was Deron Harmon. So it's that system, that grading scale, that philosophy certainly needs a freshening. Can we call it a freshening?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not a complete overhaul, but it needs
a bath.
Something different.
I'll say this.
A little
spray it with a little
Yeah.
Febreze.